when we're talking about housing and really for our community, we're struggling with those who have profound autism. And I know that there is some kind of innovation going on around how do we serve those folks. And, maybe we can combine that with, how do we also provide housing for workforce, in some way. But I don't know if any of you could comment now on sort of, this increased complexity that we're seeing, throughout the lifespan. But I feel like it's kind of hitting hard right now with transition age
Yeah.
and adults who really need that extra support because of complex, challenging behavior.
I'm happy to kick it off. I agree with you, and I have so many reactions to this because on the one hand, I think one, it is a reflection of a really strong advocacy community that family members and individuals with autism have come to expect a certain level of care and services and supports and access to communities. And they're turning to us to say, how are we going to address this need? So I don't have an answer, but I agree with you. There are some really interesting opportunities or pilots or projects going on across the state that think a little differently about the way housing is provided for this community, for actually even defining what that community might look like. And I think it's all information that we need, that we do need to sort of reach out and begin to think about how can we bring that into our state. I think it too talks about collaboration. There's obviously a role for DDS to be playing, but there are other state agencies, and including education. How do we really wrap around individuals, kids, and then throughout the lifespan, so that we're able to support them at every step of the way. It's, it is not something that I have an answer for, but it is a priority for this administration. It's a priority for DDS. It's a priority for me to really begin to see some advancement on this. Commissioner, I don't know if you want to add a few words.
I was just going to say, I don't think that there has been a time that the undersecretary and I have spoken that we haven't talked about this issue. It's something that we think about all the time. It really, we are trying to kind of thoughtfully think through opportunities to consider new ways of doing things. And, I think we're both, we're dealing, both with the issues that we've talked about in terms of, Massachusetts being an expensive place to live, and there's a lack of affordable housing for people, and transportation is an issue at the same time that we have, year after year, folks coming into our system who have more dynamic and complex needs. And so those two things together really, I think, just make the challenges more so, and requires us to really think of things in a different way, because those patterns, at least in terms of, who's coming into our system, that pattern is very clear. It is the pattern that we've been seeing over several years now, and it's the pattern that we expect to see continue. And so we want to be well prepared for it.